problem, a huge problem. It's embarrassing, and it has caused me a lot of trouble. But it's not the problem. It's only a symptom of the problem. And it's especially frustrating when somebody tells me, just write better. I've been writing poorly for 36 years. Do you know how frustrating it is to have to tell everybody in your meeting that, no, you can't take the notes for the meeting? Trust me, if I could write better, I would. I never took notes in school. I could read my notes. It was a little bit of a struggle for me to do so, and so I just kind of got used to not doing them. I would never go back over them anyways. Yes, if I sat there long enough, I could struggle through the notes that I wrote down. I can read my chicken scratch. Not as clear and legible as, say, my wife's, or my father's, or my mother's, or just about anybody else's I know. But again, that's not the problem. It's just a symptom of the problem. Why do I write so poorly? Some would say, well, it's a lack of dexterity. And that may be the case. I do have a certain lack of dexterity. Lack of fine motor coordination. Back when I was a kid, they said, work on my hand strength. It's 100 pounds. I don't really have that much of an issue with hand strength. Either one of these hands. In fact, I would argue that my hand strength is probably stronger than most. So why do I write so poorly? I write poorly because, and this is my main problem, my internal clock is off. How much time I spend on a task is greatly exaggerated in my mind. So in other words, 2 minutes seems like 30 seconds to me. So I rush things, like writing and my thought process. The average person writes about 20 to 25 words per minute. And unchecked, I will write at about 60 words a minute. And that feels slow to me. And I always have these thoughts that are just racing around my head. So I'm constantly putting pressure on myself to get everything out, get everything done. Because, time's a wasting. Oddly enough, I come up with some interesting things, but I never write them down because I'm just so used to skipping that process. Before you go ahead and type in the comments, well, go ahead and type that in the comments. I could use the comment on the post and comment anything you like to. We didn't really have a computer growing up. We did have a typewriter. Yes, it was a pain, but it did the job, and I was appreciative of it, and I enjoyed using it when I needed to. Carrying around a typewriter to school isn't something I can do. I can't carry it out here. You may say laptop, but really what it comes down to is that I can carry this easily. I could be up on a mountain or at the beach or by the pool or in a tree or wherever. And if I get inspiration, I can open this up and I can write. If only I can read. I mean, I can, but I don't know. It's like you get to this point where it just doesn't flow. Like, I'm like, what did I write? What did I write that for? Okay, I'm deciphering my own handwriting. But more importantly, studies show that when you want to remember something, it's better to handwrite it than it is to type it. And I'm not trying to knock typing or anything of that nature. They're both great. And do what works for you. The writing it down with the pen just seems more of a connection, more zen-like, more meditative. When inspiration hits, you don't want to have to run home to find, or to your car or whatnot, to get your notes down. So here's a few things I'm doing to help myself with the problem. So here's my racing thought strategy. So what do I do about these racing thoughts? Strangely, I've decided to write my thoughts down. And I struggle greatly with this. It's kind of counterintuitive to what I'm so used to doing. But I think it would be a great outlet. And I've noticed so far over the past week, it's helped out quite a bit. This also causes me a lot of anxiety or anxious tendencies or I guess, restlessness, if you want to call it. And oddly enough, to combat this, I lift weights, and that's why I have such strong grip strength. Actually, it's not really why I have such strong grip strength. Side note, overhand deadlifts, and I can do maybe about I think about 300 pounds for a rep overhand deadlift. But it helps me out a lot. Exercising, lifting weights, running. You would think that's kind of counterproductive, getting all worked up and everything, but it actually helps out a lot. As I write and I'm able to get this outlet out, it helps kind of clear my mind up and helps, with the racing thoughts. The poor handwriting. Number one, I need to slow down. It is very difficult to correct an internal clock that has been wound for over 36 years. Here's what I'm doing, and I'm hoping this helps. I need to find out how fast I'm writing. As I said earlier, it's about 60 to 80 words per minute. And try to slow my pace down to about 20 words per minute. I have to write at a pace that seems extremely obnoxiously slow to me. And this is going to be a struggle. But it's not just my writing. I have got to figure out how to live life at a pace that is slower. Like right now, I feel rushed. And there's nobody here rushing me. I had to check my phone. Oh, maybe somebody's rushing me. So many times because of this issue, I feel like an outsider who is constantly failing and doesn't fit in. So I've just kind of ignored the problem over the years, and I don't think that's a good place to be. I wanted to share this with you, this embarrassing, this painful struggle that I deal with, in hopes that it might be encouraging to you. I don't know what goal you're struggling with or avoiding because it's overwhelming to you, or maybe it's just too much for you to handle. But I'm hoping that as I share my story with you over the course of these videos, that it inspires you. Because oddly enough, I'm always holy crap! You guys see that? These are turkeys. Guys, look at this. Look at these turkeys. Look at these turkeys going. That's pretty neat. I've been around turkeys before, but I wasn't expecting it, and I hope you got to see them. I have my vlogging lens on and not my turkey lens. I don't have a turkey lens, but not my lens I would put on for viewing turkeys. Those were turkeys. I'm sitting here just filming, talking about writing and my racing thoughts, and a flipping turkey comes by. 2 turkeys come by. I don't know if you guys know, if you guys have figured it out or not by watching my videos, I love wildlife. I would love to be a wildlife photographer. The point being is, you gotta take a step back and you gotta look at where you are and what you really need to do. It's starting to rain a little bit. I gotta get going, but I want everyone out there to have just the most fantastic, amazing day. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and any encouraging words you're gonna tell me, I appreciate that, and I just want you guys to know that y'all are the best, and I love you guys. Have a good one.